Yeah, all you people in Mr. Timothy Davis's ward, Carrick County Council. Woo. So you've got to. I like to mark these things, the receive date and stuff, and those are the other people I met at that meeting who generated this letter. The Whitchurch Councillors Ward. Any of you people living in houses of multiple occupancy? Any of you living in private landlord accommodation? Any of you not getting benefits, so that you're having to pay the full whack on the rents and all of that malarkey? You want to copy-paste these videos and send them to Mr. Timothy Davis and say, excuse me, I'd like that district valuer guy to come around and tell me it's worth this much. I want you to check out what your water charge would be compared to the house next door that you might live. If it's the same dimensions and everything, find out what that rateable value is. Find out what it is combined when you haven't got a shared room and you're all living in so-called flats. Find out what the water charge is. Well, you all know the TV license people are all going to charge you like 2 TV licenses out of this property. 2 TV licenses. BBC's a monopoly. Maybe that's why Mr. Mark Thompson didn't want to do anything about this. Didn't want his camera people or his reporters talking about this on the news from the Assembly today. You know, Mr. Richard Evans. Wonder if that's the reason. This crazy Dave was on that monopoly thing with the BBC. It's been a fraud. Criminal justice system, been putting people in jail. It's been fining people, all for a monopoly like the BBC. Why didn't central government ever say, well, we want TVs manufactured that don't pick up the BBC signal? Easy for them to do, these technical wizards. Hell, they could put a man on the moon, they could make a TV that don't pick up the BBC's goddamn signal, couldn't they? Yes, indeed. But oh no, they prefer to criminalise you all. Criminalise all those kids who are taking ecstasy on the weekend because they like to dance. In Holland, there's not one young person who's ever died from ecstasy taken because they can go and have that pill tested by their little scientist dudes who sat in the corner being happy because they've had one too. You know, hey, look at that, that's not going to kill you, just drink water, you know, whatever. Reasonably. Chief constables all say, ooh, that's bad, we shouldn't, reclassify ecstasy down from A to B, or C, or D, or F, or G. Because they got a vested interest in making sure that all these, BBCs are allowed to get away with their monopoly. They got a vested interest because they can go in, criminal justice systems, getting a bit more money from this sucker. Just like they can do that with all those drug takers, all those shaman out there who are looking for a little bit more than the, material world that we so-called just live in. They ought to look up some anthropologists, that's it, anthropologists' works, who have, studied with shaman who take all sorts of kind of shit that the universe provides for, an altered state of awareness. So they're not just fixated with the, three-dimensional reality, but they, go through that atomic, structure, energy field that we all live in. The one unified energy field. It's atomic. It's everywhere. Everything is vibrating. Woo! That's exciting, isn't it? But the old chief constables, we're straight-laced people. We like drinking alcohol. We frequent whores now and again. Don't tell anybody, though. Same as judges do. But they all gotta bullshit everybody that they're cleaner than clean, that they don't do wife swapping, and they never get pissed. Never do heroin, never taken an ecstasy tablet. No, and all those doctors and all those surgeons and the BMA, well, well, they got a vested interest in seeing that nobody gets to eat and drink cannabis on a daily basis because they want them having fucked up lungs. They want them having fucked up lungs. And by all accounts, with these new photos they're going to put on all the cigarette packets and the tobacco packets and everything, they're going to show thrombosis of the legs and gangrene and all the sorts of ways people move on to the next plane of existence. We're all going to do it sometime or other. Some of us are going to live through this life happy, happy, happy. Loving all the bullshit. And others are going to see through that bullshit and be a bit pissed off. Because the chief constables don't look into other stuff. And they want everybody to live the way that they do. And they'll prosecute people for illegal monopolies and get away with it. And the Crown Prosecution Service will never say, "Excuse me, why haven't this person got the opportunity of watching a TV that doesn't pick up your signal, Mr. Matt Thompson at BBC? And why isn't this person allowed to eat mushrooms that the divine creator in all its wonderfulness populates fields with? Well, they might see things in a different way if they do that kind of shit. They might see through our bullshit that we're trying to lay on everybody." Some geezer come along 2,000 years ago. They got a big church going now for that guy. And he said, "Whatever you believe with feeling, so shall it be for you." Whatever you believe with feeling. Well, I believe with feeling that it's about time these people had their comeuppance. Because they've dilly-dallied and they have all these consultation papers and they never make a goddamn decision. They got this child poverty consultation document. Most of it's repetitive, most of it's boring, and most of it doesn't have a concrete action plan for anything whatsoever. We designate houses of multiple occupancy, adult poverty. You only get child poverty from having adult poverty. And I've offered them solutions to deal with adult poverty. Like gas cards. Most people on benefit have quantum gas cards. That's where you pay up front. Should go and get it for you, really. Pay up front, put it in your meter, you get charged the most, highest rate of anybody. All those rich people who can afford all those direct debits, cheap as fuck gas. Yes, well, cheap as fuck gas because we can afford direct debits. Ha ha ha. Or you poor people out there living on fucking crap money, you can pay the highest rate. Does it make sense, people? Did Ofgem ever do anything about it when we went and visited them in 2002, Dave? No, Ofgem didn't do fuck all. Much like Ofwat doesn't do fuck all.